Hello, and welcome to Dead by Podcast number 8. I guess it's no surprise what we're going to be talking about today. We were speaking earlier about not earlier, but previously, what should we talk about this time around? And we had a little chat yesterday, and Pebsie said, all I want to talk about is this new update.
There's nothing else.
Whereas I thought it should be a tiny little section. We knew what was happening. We did the PTB. We've spoken about it already. Let's not go over the same subject, except, and I wanted to, we've spoken about it already. Let's do a tiny little section, but focus mainly on something else in the game. But no, it's not going to be like that today because of the ridiculousness of this update.
Oh, I thought you were coming from a strictly positive perspective here. I thought you were coming on to be positive.
I'm going to be positive, yeah, because Tuesday, which is where the update came out, is my killer only stream. So I've only played killer. So I'm coming at it from a purely killer sided basis, whereas you're looking as a survivor, because I guess
I'm a
you're
survivor, man.
main.
I'm a survivor, man. I'm ranked 6 killer now, because
So am I.
freaking. Hold up. Let me dial that back a little bit. I was about to launch into a rant. I literally.
Let's build into it, shall we?
I literally, how many minutes ago? 12 minutes ago, uploaded a 10-minute rant to YouTube about this update. So I'm going to try and not cover that ground. I think the purpose of this, for me, is to go hand in hand with that video. And rather than cover my disappointment at behavior, to...
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Thunderous applause, please, Dan. Daniel.
Nice. Turn your key, sir. To go over specifically what I dislike.
Have you
What,
got
say
to
again?
that bit yet?
No,
Sorry for the unlatch.
I do. I haven't listened to it much because I listen to podcasts mostly on runs, and I haven't gone for a run in like 2 weeks. So.
But you physically can't now. We went out
That's
for
true.
a walk this morning, saw all the snow on the ground, thinking you're gonna have to walk. If you're gonna go for a run, you have to do it in the road now because the sidewalk, the pavement, is just full of snow and ice.
Yeah, it's very true. We went sledging actually. That was nice.
Did you? What, down
Yeah.
where?
Just around. You know how the flat's like right next to a hill, a pathway on a hill.
Oh, you just did it there?
Just it there, yeah. It was alright. It was
That's
alright.
sick.
That was about an hour.
So you
Okay,
crashed
right.
into a brick wall.
Well, almost. Frankie did go into a bush at one point.
Please tell me you got that on video.
Unfortunately not. No, unfortunately not. Right, let's get back on topic. Right, so let's very quickly go over exactly what's changed in this update. So,
Yep.
I did this yesterday on stream. I did a 30-second thing. I'm gonna try and just go over it very, very briefly. There is a new HUD, a heads-up display. So the whole way the game looks and the way you receive information about the game's current state has changed. The Crotus Pren and the game maps got reworked. The game being the Saw map, Crotus Pren being, I think, Nurse's map and Clown's map as well. Right?
Not 100% sure.
The Nurse had a visual update. The Clown had a visual update. There are some nerfs to different perks like Undying. There is also new, and this is the biggest thing for me, is new Survivor animations. So the way that all survivors move has been turned on its head and been changed quite significantly. So those are the main things. I'm not forgetting anything. MMR didn't come out, so that wasn't a thing. I was saying last night on stream that it did, but MMR is not out, just to be clear.
No, and I will also reiterate while we're on that subject that Behaviour have confirmed that it will not be going live at this rank reset. This rank reset will be ordinary. They said they're still collecting data. That's their excuse for everything. But they're still collecting... We'll go into that. They're still collecting data, and apparently they are secretly collecting your performance as we speak for the MMR release.
Okay.
So, heads up. I shouldn't say this. If you want to play against bad killers, you better start playing badly now. That's so horrible.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, no more smurfing. Okay, so let's...
There are a few different changes as well that you've not mentioned, but I will go through a few more. I've got all of the lists here, the whole list here, so we'll go through a couple of other bits as well.
Let's not necessarily go through our thoughts on each thing individually, because we did that already. We did that in episode 5. Let's talk, or episode 6, whichever one it was. Let's discuss our initial reactions to what happened. Because when the PTB came out, I'll tell them from my perspective at first. When the PTB came out, I played it for 40 minutes and I uninstalled it. And I said specifically, if this is how the game is at launch, I'm probably going to stop playing Dead by Daylight. And then they announced, and that was the majority of the feedback was, this is really bad. This needs a lot of work. The HUD and the animations both need a huge amount of work. When they then announced that the it was leaked, the live release, the mid-chapter update would be delayed by a week from, I think, February 3rd to February 9th. That's not a week, that's longer.
It's February 2nd, wasn't it?
February 2nd, right. And that, honestly, that filled me with so much hope. I was like, okay, they're delaying it because the feedback to the update was unprecedentedly negative. And they're going to change it. They're going to make things fix better. Fix better? They're going to fix things. They're going to make it so that UI elements are in one place rather than scattered all over the screen. And turns out, no, it was just a delay. Don't know why it was delayed. Don't know what they did with that extra week. They delayed it. They changed literally one thing. They changed exactly one thing. They made it so that colorblind players, who they have actively discriminated against since the game's launch by not including colorblind accessibility options, or really any accessibility options to speak, only choosing to add them once there was a controversy around it, rather than the only thing they fixed was that by making it so that there's now a slash through player portraits,
scratch.
which is dumb because it looks very, very similar to the death icon, which has a slash through a skull. So at quick glance, you could think, oh, they're dead. But then you have to think, oh no, they're injured. Okay. So they didn't fix that. They didn't fix that at all. They didn't fix survivor animations. They fixed a couple bugs with it, but they didn't change it. They didn't make it flow better. Pretty much exactly the same as it was before. So what they did was they launched a PTB, received overwhelmingly negative feedback, and then did nothing. Didn't listen to the feedback. Didn't bother. Just thought, nah, this is fine. We'll do it. We're behavior. We'll do what we want, even if it's completely against literally everything the entire community is saying.
Oh, no, hold on though.
That's what they do. They don't care. Go on.
They've said that they haven't changed anything yet because they're still collecting data. They'd like to collect data from the live servers from console players. Then what is the point of a public test build?
I'll tell you. Look, this is what people are saying, right? PTBs. Every other game community. PTBs is, here's a thing. Here's a big change. Here's something we want to try. Let's check out a PTB so you guys can see if there are any bugs, so you can see what you think about it, and then we'll change it. I guess for behavior, that's not what a PTB is. A PTB is just, here's early access to some stuff we're working on to build up, I don't know, press, hype around it.
Oh, but you can't get blood points and you can't rank up.
Yeah, so what's the...
There's no point. And also, let's bear in mind as well, as the PTBs go on, from my experience, with every PTB comes more and more trolling players who just come in and teabag and don't do anything, look up at you, don't play properly. They just join the PTB just to mess around, and it means that the data isn't very good. And why is that? Probably because they think that Behaviour's PTB is a laughing stock. Let's just mess around and let's not do things properly how they want it to be. Which makes sense to me. It's almost like, as Ipswich Town fans, the fans going against the club, not giving them money to show that they are not going to be putting up with this. Same thing with this. It's a laughing stock. Let's mess around and ruin their data that they're probably not going to use anyway, as proven with this one.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. If this update came out and it was bad as this, and there hadn't been a PTB, they hadn't already received loads and loads, a phenomenal amount of feedback, I would have goodwill. I would say, okay, that's fine. You've released a bad update, but that's okay. You've got time to fix it. And this has happened in the past. Dead by Daylight have released some very questionable things, or they've done an update and something's gotten broken somewhere, and then it gets fixed. But that's not what happened here. They did an overwhelmingly negative change that the majority of people said was bad, and then completely ignored user feedback. And now they have a situation where every single player, well, okay, maybe 90% of players, despise what's happened. Where content creators, even Noob3, who hasn't been talking much about DBD, he posts on Twitter maybe once a month, put a post out saying, wow, it sucks to see what's happened to this game. I'm glad I had so many memories in it before it died. Big content creators, JRM. I
mention him.
Well, because he posted a thing about it. He actually. I was up late last night and I was refreshing. I was waiting. Who's going to be the first big content creator to speak about this? Because no one was saying anything, and I think JRM was one of the very first to speak out about it. Him and Ulysses. I couldn't pronounce his name. Isuchiee. And now people are talking about it more. But like, even the people whose whole careers revolve around Dead by Daylight are saying, "Oh well, it was fun while it lasted." How did you mess up this bad? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've just looked at Noob 3's thing,
I
and
can't
do you know
remember what
what?
he said. Go on.
I've got it here.
Do you want to read it out?
Yeah, it's fair enough, and I do appreciate it, honestly. But again, let's just say, and I'm always going to be the try and promote a bit of positivity, but this is his opinion.
Okay.
But he has put loads of time into it. Let me just read it out. So, and he said it quite nicely, to be fair. He says, "I mean no disrespect to the devs of Dead by Daylight. DBD has been a game I made countless friends and a massive community on, and appreciate it like nothing else. It's sad to see a game turn worse and worse over the years, so I just have to ask the dev team, have you heard our recommendations? Do you listen to the community that has more than 5 hours on the game? I just wish the community had more say over the game they put countless amounts of hours towards. At this point, it just feels like a slap in the face. Also, hitboxes. Honestly didn't think they could get any worse." Now, on that count, I will just quickly revert to my Discord community, who have mentioned and shown videos, and it's the worst thing I've ever seen. Killers are nowhere near the survivors this time. They're round the other. They're not just past the pallet. They've even turned a corner before they get hit.
Well, you know what they've done. You know what they've done. They fixed Freddy's lunge.
Have they? Because there's a video here of the same thing for Freddy.
No, dude, they fixed Freddy's lunge by making it so that
everyone else does it.
Yeah, now you can't complain. Now it's not
and
Freddy's
then
problem.
some.
Now it's not Freddy's problem. It's just the game.
Yeah.
Hitboxes. Okay, so before we went on, I played a game of Survivor against the Legion, and it's just a joke. I had a couple of good chases. That's great. In fact, and again, I posted a tweet about it because it was so ridiculous. Here is what happened. In the game of Freddy I played about half an hour ago, here's what happened. I completed 2 gens from start to finish by myself or with other people. I got 3 hook rescues. I healed 7 health states. I ran the killer around for 2 gens. There was 1 gen left. I got hooked, my last hook, and I depipped.
Rank were you?
Well, rank 3.
I find that rank 3 is the hardest rank to pip in, honestly.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I got gold for Benevolence. I got gold for Lightbringer. I got silver for Evader, even though I literally had like a 3 or 4 minute chase. And I got
count, though,
nothing.
Unless you get out of chase, I don't think. If you get hit during that chase, it counts as a lost chase, I think.
No, but this is the point. I had multiple chases. It's just the last chase I was in lasted that long. You're meant to build up points for every minute you're in a chase. That's the thing. And I got nothing for Unbroken. That's the other glitch right now, is no matter what happens, you always get no emblem for Unbroken. Unless you escape. If you don't escape, you don't get silver. No more silver or bronze Unbroken emblems. It's either gold or iridescent. But no one's escaping anyway because the killer can hit from halfway across the map. And here's the problem. To make matters worse, right now, on the Dead by Daylight live servers, the live servers, if you black pip, you D-pip. If you 2-pip, you 1-pip.
Wow.
Yeah. I have D-pipped 8 times. 8 times in the last day. Beforehand, I would very rarely D-pip. I was either rank 1 or rank 2 for the entirety of this season. And now I'm rank 3. Soon to be rank 4, no doubt. Because the game's unplayable. It's an unplayable mess. You can't chase as a survivor because everything feels wrong. Killers hit halfway across the map, like I say. You can't vault. You can't do anything. You can't 360. It's crazy.
The ranking thing, let's just be clear as well, because a lot of people might say, well, why do you care about rank? Well, it's not just about the rank. It's about the fact that you play really, really well, and then at the last bit, when you finish the game basically tells you you didn't do enough. You lost that game. That's what angers me, is when you play really, really well and they go, nope, you lost.
It's not about rank.
Lost.
It's not about that number. That's the thing. It's about it's about you feeling like you did well in a game.
It's recognition of what you did.
Exactly, some sort of recognition. Even if it doesn't mean anything. The point is, when you see that flash up on screen, you get a little bit of dopamine to say, oh, I did well, and I'm being rewarded for it.
And it pushes you into the next game as well.
Exactly. But now I know that if I play a Survivor game, I'm going to deep it. It doesn't matter how good I do. It doesn't matter how many chases I win. It doesn't matter how many generators I get completed. It doesn't matter whether I escape or not. I'm probably going to deep it. I mean, I'm not going to escape, because out of literally 4 hours of playing it, I escaped once, and that was because that's because the killer gave me the hatch. Out of those 4 hours, out of my entire stream yesterday, only one survivor out of about probably 10 games escaped, including me playing as killer. It was a 4K every single time. I did 2 killer games yesterday. 4K every single time, apart from one survivor escaping through the door.
This is what annoys me now. Now I'm a bit worried. I've recently tendered my resignation as a Blight main, based on the fact based on the fact that the maps I feel are not they're not made for a Blight. It's the amount of times I try and go through a door and it doesn't let you do it, or bounce off and it hits you back further than. Anyway, we've been through this. This isn't the point. You can see my video, in fact, montage video that I put out yesterday.
I clip at the end.
Yeah, well, that's when I tendered my resignation. But there's a couple of like little clips in that, and that's the reason why. But anyway, I thought, well, who can I play? And I always thought when I turned to PC gaming on DBD, I thought, do you know what? This is the nurse. This is time for the nurse. You know, you can't really play nurse on console. I mean, you can if you're really good, but it's tough. So I went, do you know what? This is built for the nurse.
Yeah.
So I started. In fact, my first ever killer game was as the nurse. Didn't go very well. Anyway, yesterday, I started playing as the nurse. I played about 5-6 games as the nurse. Overall, it went surprisingly well. Now, here's the surprising aspect. If you're telling me that my hits... There's a couple of weird games in there where I was hitting people that were standing still. Or they'd start running and then they'd automatically just randomly stand still, and I'd hit them again and they'd go down. But there
are some desync lag issues right now. You can see when you're being carried on someone's shoulders, you rubber band a little bit, or when you're spectating people, you rubber band a little bit. The servers have definitely gotten worse. I don't know how. But
this is the issue that I've got, really, is I thought I was doing well as a nurse. And nurse, as we all know, is the hardest killer to play as.
Definitely.
So I got 2 D pips. I drew once, and I got 3 pips overall.
Whoo!
I did as a rank 6, as a starting nurse. I'm pretty pleased with myself. So to now find out that the hits that I thought were hitting probably weren't hitting, because it looks like they hit on my side, but were miles away on their side. Annoyingly, I was against a lot of console players yesterday, so I couldn't really have a post-game chat with them. Yeah, that's quite depressing. So I'm probably going to go back. Then once they fix this in a couple of weeks or months, I will probably go back to being rubbish as the nurse.
I can't wait for them to fix it in chapter 22. Really looking forward to chapter 22, man. Really looking forward to chapter 22.
So
not my joke, by the way. I saw that on Twitter, but carry on.
So my side is from the killer. The HUD, for example, I was recommended to make it smaller, so I listened to them, and it seems okay. A couple of times I got a bit lost as to where I was supposed to look. I didn't realise someone was down or up. I was actually looking for someone at one point who I thought was down, but had actually gotten themselves back up. But I hadn't realised because I hadn't noticed it in the top left-hand corner. Is that my mistake? Or, you know, I'm starting to get used to it, so fair enough. I kind of gave that the benefit of the doubt. I need to know to look in that corner. The gens still, I don't think should be above right at the top. Again, I was looking around from, and it's hard to notice. It really is. It's hard to keep track of.
What's the point? I played a game with Frankie yesterday, and I was like, wait a minute, 3 gens got completed? When did that happen?
Yeah, same. I didn't notice either.
I looked up, I was like, wait, this is my first hook. I've been chased the whole game. There are only 2 gens left. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do we go from a system where it's never been in question at no point, even when I first started playing DBD, was it ever in question, what's going on, what's currently happening in this game? If someone was down, even the first time I played it, I know that means they're injured. I know the only thing I was confused by was the obsession thing, but then you figure that out eventually.
They're trying to it's just being more modern and updating it, but it's not actually done that. I think overall everything looks neater, and the best part, in my opinion, is showing who's who. So you got the icons of the characters. I think that's great.
That's cool. I like that.
I
like the hook counter. I like
being able to see both killer and survivor. Brilliant. I I really, really like that. Everything else, just revert back to where it was and put everything in that bottom left-hand corner. Everyone's used to it there. It's all there. You've got one glance down and you've got all the information you need.
Yeah, exactly. And it's obvious. And did you know they actually... Okay, so one of my biggest complaints about this, beyond everything else, if we're talking strictly about the HUD, my biggest thing is survivor animations and the fact that the game just feels like a shambles. It feels like an early access title. It feels like a game attempting to mimic Dead by Daylight's gameplay, but not quite getting it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, one of the big things for me is how freaking tiny the health bars are for how far is someone to bleeding out or someone on the hook or deep wound. They are phenomenally small. It's about 4 pixels high. You can't glance up and just see it. Here's the other thing. Here's a feature they removed. I didn't know this was the case until someone pointed this out on Reddit. You know how the health bars sometimes flash on the old UI?
Yeah, they did that when someone was about to be taken off the hook or about to die, I think.
It happens when someone's healing or being healed or being interacted with. So if someone's being picked up, it starts flashing. If someone's being healed, it starts flashing. I didn't know that was a thing, by the way, or if someone's mending. I didn't know that was a thing, but that's a really cool feature that is now gone.
Yeah, it shows that they're being... I didn't know they were doing it when they were being healed. I knew they were doing it as they were being unhooked. So you look at it and you go, okay, it's flashing. They're being unhooked. That's good.
Exactly.
But they've taken it off.
That's not a thing anymore. No, that's not a thing anymore. So they're like,
but
there are all of these new features we want to add. We're not going to tell you what those features are, but, there are new features. And then just not telling us what the features are. You know what the bad thing about this as well is? The community manager said that... not Queen, said that the entire back end, there is no reverting it. There's no going back. Because the UI is... It's completely rewritten. The old code will not work on the current version of the game. It's gone.
Yeah, I saw a tweet as well, and someone said, "Is there an option or will there be to change it back to the old one so we can choose?" And they actually replied Dead by Daylight, and they're not that good at replying to their own Twitter feed, although I'm sure that's someone's job. They've actually said there are no plans to revert back.
The thing that annoys me is the absolute radio silence. A lot of devs, some of the devs, the behavior devs that often post on Twitter, they haven't posted a single tweet. It's like they've all been told, do not tweet, do not tweet, do not tweet. I'm sure they have. But the complete, you've got, I don't know if you've been on Twitter, if you've been on DBD Twitter, or do you follow DBD people on Twitter?
No, I just follow the Dead by Daylight page, which is where everything should be put out. Well,
DBD Twitter right now is going absolutely berserk. The hashtag Revert DBD movement is crazy. So many tweets. Again, you've got people like JRM tweeting it. It's like... It's going crazy. It's going crazy, the negativity. You go on the DBD forums, you refresh... Every second, someone posts a new thing saying, "What have you done? How have you done this? I can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe you've done this."
You go on the forum, it's the same thing. You go and Dead by Daylight tweets out the shrine amidst all of this going on. That's
no
official
biggest slap
statement.
in the face.
No official statement. Nothing. Just here's our regularly scheduled post showing you the shrine. Who cares about the Shrine of Secrets? Who cares right now?
Yeah.
There are bigger issues.
I will say this, speaking of the shrine, I know this is a bit side topic. Have you noticed that Ruin is in it this week?
I hadn't.
Which is quite a big one, and I reckon they've put it in there because maybe they've nerfed Undying.
That's clever. I don't mind that. I don't. I say I've got every killer to level. I've got every killer, so I don't use a shrine because there's no point. I haven't got almost level 50 yet, but they're almost there. But It just irritates me. So you are able to use Twitter right now, right? You're able to use Twitter. Just tweeting out the shrine. Don't address the massive controversy that is potentially killing your game. Just leave it out. Don't worry about it. Don't need to deal with it. Don't need to address that. Don't worry about it. I'm sure that right now the game designers, the game developers, the behavior shareholders, everyone with a stake in this game, right now are sat in a meeting, or at some point today. I think they're French, so 1 hour ahead. Sat in a meeting saying, how are we going to fix this? How are we going to fix this? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? And I hope that's the case. And I really, really hope that by the end of the week we get an official statement. Just something. Just even if it's just, look, we know you guys aren't happy with it. We're going to gather feedback and we're going to do another review of it in the next week. Just something.
But even that wouldn't be good enough. You've got all the data you needed from the PTB. I don't know the official stats, but I'm almost sure I can guarantee that there are more PC DVD players out there than console put together. I don't understand. The PTB is for PC players. So take everything you can from the PTB. If people want to have their input, then they can play it on PC.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you want to be part of the PTB, get a PC that can play it. You know, if you can't do that,
just
then
buy
you're
a
not gonna have your
PC.
input.
Just buy a PC. Duh.
But you can play it on a laptop, for God's sake.
Well, but the thing is, you don't even need to play it. You don't even need to play it. You can watch a video of someone playing it and then give feedback from there. The fact of the matter is that there isn't going to be that much. I don't think there's going to be that much of a disparity between what console players think and what PC players think. And moreover, to build on to that, if PC players are universally saying this sucks, this is really bad, and you say, and this is what they said, we're going to wait and see how the console players feel. What you are saying is, we don't care about people that play on PC. We're not interested in their opinion. We just want to find out what the console people like. Maybe that's a sales thing. And again, this is something I talk about in my video. Here's what I reckon happened. The shareholders, Dead by Daylight shareholders said, great, we got a PS5 version of the game out. Now, what can we do to sell more copies of the game, make it look more modern? Well, movement looks a little bit goofy. That might not fit with what some gamers want. That might turn them off the game. Okay, so we'll improve that. But everyone's saying, we don't want that, we don't want that, we don't want that. Okay, well, tough. This is how we're going to sell more copies of the game, so this is what we're doing. And in my mind, all they need is for players to reach that 2-hour playtime mark on Steam so that they can't request a refund. That's all they need. That's what they need from gamers. They don't need people to play it for thousands of hours. That's not going to make them more money. I mean, it will, because if your community's happy with the game, you're going to sell more copies. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's a question of whether they want a great game and something to be proud of, or whether they just want to make money. And to be honest, I'm sure they've got enough money that they need now. The game's quite big as it is. To make a great game, you have to listen to the community, because we're the ones that play it. That's the thing. You guys play it as well, but you don't. You don't play as much as we play it. You don't play it every day for 6-7 hours. You don't play at high ranks.
Well, I've got another edge to this, right? I've got another line to this, another viewpoint on this. Is that BrawlQuest came out in closed beta on Saturday. It came out on Saturday, and we started gathering user feedback. Now we're a team of 2 people, right? And in the last, it's Thursday now. So how many days is that? That's 5 days. In 5 days, we've released 3 significant patches. 2 that have added content. One that was mainly focused on bug fixes. But we've looked at what users have said and responded accordingly. People were saying, I struggled to see how much health I'm on. So we added a health bar below the player character, and we made it so the players spurt blood when they're taking damage. People were saying, we're not, I don't know how to find what my crafting recipe should be. So Dan spent an entire day completely redoing the crafting UI. Now in a corporate situation like Behavior is, with shareholders and whatever, they need to have meetings, they need to create designs, and these designs need to be approved in these meetings. So yeah, things are going to be a lot slower. But when something like this happens and you have a month to respond, and you delay your release by a week, and you just don't respond, you just don't address it. You just power it off and say, no, that is a slap in the face. That is a slap in the face. That's directly telling your player base, we don't care about your feedback. Honestly, we couldn't care less.
But the thing is, even if they're not doing that behind the scenes, they're working as hard as they can, which they could potentially be. We've seen all the data. It's the fact that they're not telling us. It's the lack of communication that makes people decide in their head what they're doing. Yeah. Tell us what you're doing. A little tweet. I'm sure you've got someone's main job is to do social media. Well, that is their full-time job. But that's what I mean. That's their full-time job. How difficult is it to tweet out and go, we are currently doing this. Please, stay with us during this time. We're taking.
But this is the problem.
They're not doing that.
This is the problem with the corporate structure. Is everything needs to be approved by person to person to person. You can't just tweet. That's the problem.
Well, then approve it. Just say we're about to do this. Send an email. and go,
Emergency
"Oh, do
Zoom
you want
meeting.
this?"
Let's all jump on Zoom. It's 11 a.m. EST. The update's just come out. We're an hour in. We're watching streamers. Oh god, everyone hates it. Emergency meeting. Let's stress this. Let's say
Let's sort
we're
this out.
watching.
Yeah.
We're aware. We're watching. We're gonna see how this goes, and we'll release an update. You don't even need to give us a time frame. Just say we're working on it. And the time frame can't be when the next chapter comes out, because by the time the next chapter comes out, your game is dead.
Yeah, you've already lost a lot of people. Yeah. It's
all
crazy.
goodwill, all potential goodwill.
The thing is, I want to just mention another game.
Wait, hold up.
Legends.
Sorry. One sec. One thing first. I just want to say, because you said it a second ago. Keep that thought. This is not having a go at any individual person. This is not saying. This is not saying to the developer. It's not going, "You suck." Matthew Kote, you suck. It's not saying, not Queen, you suck, or Elmo, you suck. It's saying. We're disappointed in the company as a whole. There is no doubt in my mind the developers are doing everything they can to make the game as good as possible. It's no doubt in my mind they're working crunch right now, that they're every single day stressing about the response to these things or knowing the community wants these things, but that they're not being assigned to work on them. I fully empathize with those people and believe the developers as individuals are wonderful people and are doing their very, very best and are doing a good job of it. I think it's management, higher-ups that are causing the issue. And even then, it's not about any individual person. It's about the company as a whole as their decision, which is every single person in the company, but it's no individual person. Sorry, I want to make that clear. Go on.
Kind of taking a step backwards in your rant now by saying that.
Well, no, but like...
I hate this. This is rubbish. They're doing it.
No.
But I think they're doing absolutely everything they can.
It's important to make it clear that this isn't about insulting an individual or being angry at an individual. It's about saying, look, things aren't working here, and this needs to improve. We're going to get angry. We're going to get passionate because we love the game. We want to see it do well. We want it to be the best it could possibly be. But like, this ain't it, Chief. Apex, go on. Sorry, Apex.
No, I was going to say that it's true that this podcast, the whole point of this podcast is to, we're both massive fans of this game. It's what got us into streaming and has got us this far, and we've built a little community around it, and so we just want to express basically everything that we've been through. So we're going to have we're emotional and passionate about it. Of course we are. So we're going to say positive and negative things about it. And that's the point of this, is just to address certain things and talk about them. This
game has allowed me to achieve or begin achieving a dream that I've had since I was 12 years old. If not for this game, that wouldn't have happened. So when I'm passionate about it, it's because it's a massively important game. It's a huge part of my life now. It's a huge part of my identity. People will constantly talk to me about Dead by Daylight. Like they'll message me and say, "Oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about this?" Like it consumes maybe 40% of my thoughts at this point because it has to. Anyway.
Well, I think as well, genuinely, we are very, I don't know what the right word is. We're cautious and aware of the fact that a lot of DBD players right now will be uninstalling. And we don't want this game to go dead because we love it. And we have to show that we're not happy with this and we're not happy with that. But we're also happy with certain things, you know. I like the idea of it.
The game, by the way, looks incredible. They absolutely killed it. I don't know if you've played. I haven't.
I've only been on Crotus Pren. I keep getting bloody offerings to go to Crotus Pren.
I don't like Crotus Pren. I really don't like Crotus Pren. But
you don't? Oh, I've really enjoyed playing on it.
Fair enough. There's a TL wall that kind of funnels you into a situation so you can only fast vault it, where normally on other maps that TL wall part would always be a medium vault, so I like that.
Right.
You know, the game looks incredible. They upped the lighting, they doubled the brightness. And this is very clear to me. Yeah, it's very clear to me now this game is a lot more fun when it's trying to be goofy rather than trying to be serious. And the brighter a map is, because it's not a scary game, let's be real.
No, not at all.
The brighter it is, the better, and the game looks fantastic. It plays fantastic from both a killer and survivor side. I think it's a little bit survivor sided right now. There are some insane palettes. That needs a little bit of work, but as a whole, the map is awesome. It looks so good, and it's so good to play on. And that, by the way, is now probably one of my favorite maps. It's gone from my very least favorite map. I know. The game is one of my favorite maps now. Up there with Haddonfield.
Haddonfield?
As a survivor main.
Right, okay. Good point.
as a
Good point.
Neo main as well with balanced landing.
Jesus. But yeah. Well, anyway, the thing I was going to mention about Apex is it's had a hell of a lot of stick recently for certain things they brought into the game, certain updates and whatever. But I've gone through today because I've been playing it again, and I've looked, and they've added a new a takeover thing for their 2nd year anniversary, and there's no option to not play that version. And I was looking at it going, I don't really like it. I want it to go back to playing. So I went on their Twitter and had a look just to see if anyone's addressed it. I couldn't really find it, but I looked across an update thing, and I went down to see whether they reply to their tweets, and there are so many. There's probably a ratio of 1 in 5 tweets that they reply to.
Right.
It's
I mean,
fantastic. That's nowhere near what Dead by Daylight do.
Dead by Daylight.
They maybe do the first one, maybe like 10 or 20 later they reply to one. They don't even revert. They only go to stuff that's positive. In Apex, there's one here. Someone said they've deleted the game because they're fed up with it. Someone else then says, I deleted it too today. Was all right while it lasted, but this game has flatlined for me so badly. Apex replied, said, well, hey, we're glad you were with us, even for a little while. We'll always be here if you decide to come back. You would never get that from Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight.
Anything negative.
They only reply to the jokes. They only
Yeah.
reply to the jokes. That's all they do.
Yeah.
They don't address the negativity. This is a big deal. This is a very big deal. They need to start communicating better. This is all about communication. At the end of the day, this is all about communication. If they'd have said, look, we know you guys weren't keen on this. We don't have time to get a new version of it built up and approved. We're working on it. We want more feedback, but we're working on it. We'll try and get an update to you guys soon, okay? Just hang in there. We know there are some problems. We're working on it. But that's not what they do. Historically, what they've done is call players entitled, or not call them that directly, but treat them as if they are, and just not address these complaints. I don't know. And what's even weirder about this is that this is coming around at the exact same time as them finally reworking DS and Objective Obsession. 2 changes that we've been asking for years.
Yeah, and that's coming from a Survivor main.
Exactly. I mean, I don't take DS. I don't take Objective Obsession. But they listened to the community and they fixed it. They listened to the community on the Legion acceleration bug and have announced that they're going to be fixing it. They realized there was a bug with Egg LED's Scream on Switch and they fixed it. Yeah, I know.
On Switch?
On Switch. It's worse on Switch. It's the worst on Switch. Something to do with the way it compresses it.
God. It was so loud on PC. It was horrible.
It's much worse on Switch. I'll send you the video later.
Jesus.
But the point is, this is a point where they've actually started listening to the community on changes and are doing things accordingly, rather than just going off on a random let's do whatever we want.
Well,
but at the same time, they release an update. It's like they release an update that is on the one hand, yeah, we're going to work on these things, while at the same time releasing an update that is completely ignoring community feedback. It's a paradox. It doesn't make any sense.
It's almost like them going, well, you guys are still playing it, so we're still going to run it how we want to. If you guys are still playing it, well, that's all we want. And the issue there is, if people stop playing it, the game will be dead, and they won't be able to update it. So this is the catch-22, if you like.
Well, this is the thing. I'm not going to stop. I wish. I would love to contribute and say, right, I've uninstalled Dead by Daylight. There you go. I'm 1 extra on your uninstall stats. But I'm not going to stop playing Dead by Daylight because let's be real.
Do you know what? I think we would both stop playing it if we weren't streamers of it.
Oh, definitely. I would go play something else. I don't know.
Well, the thousands of other better games out there. That's what we play.
But
I will say this: I don't play Dead by Daylight now. Recently, in my spare time, I only play it on stream. Why? Because I don't feel the need that I have to. I only do it because I stream it.
See, I'm the opposite. I really enjoy playing it off stream.
Yeah.
I probably do an hour or two. Well, I probably do about 5 hours a week off stream, plus about 20 hours.
I used to play it all the time. I used to be on it like 5, 6, 7 hours a day when I could, and absolutely loved it. Like when I was on the PlayStation, and then we even did it. We played together and stuff on PC. But now it's a game that I enjoy in small doses.
And to be clear, I do play it more on stream. And when I say I would probably drop it if not for content creation, that doesn't mean that I'm just playing it because of that. I'm playing it because I like it, because I really like the game, and I happen to be a Dead by Daylight content creator at this point. That doesn't mean that That I think there's a worry that if we say that, people will say, oh, you're only playing a game because it's what people want. It's like, well, yeah, but also it's what I want to. I don't want to make content for any other game. I don't want to make Minecraft videos. I don't want to make CS:GO videos or World of Warcraft videos. I want to make Dead by Daylight videos because that's what interests me. I want to stream Dead by Daylight because Dead by Daylight is one of these games that creates these wonderful emergent gameplay situations where you have to scream or you have to just be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that just happened. With any game, if it's the same thing over and over again, it's not going to be particularly interesting. But those moments make for a great game to stream.
Yeah, I was having a chat recently with someone about the emotions you get from games. I think you tweeted once saying, "What's your top 6 favorite games?" And it took me a while to reply, and I replied to it. I put Dead by Daylight as 6. I will say honestly, I used to love Dead by Daylight. Let me just say it now. I used to play it all the time. The reason why I started streaming is because I loved playing it. I loved watching other people play it. And I thought, do you know what? Maybe people would like to hang out with me when I did it. And it just built from there. I've since stopped playing it off stream. I love playing the game, but like I say, in small doses.
Yeah.
The reason why it's number 6 is because it's got me to where I am with the streaming thing, which is fantastic. But there are other games that I play that will constantly give me that positive emotion. Rocket League is not one of them, but Rocket League is one where we had this chat, if you're able to beat someone who's been really toxic, or like if they're 3 goals up, going really toxic, and you win, clutch goal last second, it's the best feeling I ever had. And I will tell you now, I've never had that feeling with Dead by Daylight. Even when I clutch escape, it's like, yeah!
Really,
That's it.
I'm the complete opposite. I have about one of those moments every single stream, apart from yesterday where I just didn't want to play the game anymore.
Yeah.
No, every single stream I have a moment that's like that. That's like, I mean, you've seen the clip of me jumping in the hatch against that Bubba, right?
Against Bubba, yeah. I never get that.
That's not okay. When I'm streaming, I'm amping up my personality a little bit, but that was genuine. That wasn't me overreacting for the memes, for the clip. That was my genuine reaction, and these are the reactions I have when I play off stream as well. Anyone that's played with me on Discord will know that these are the reactions I have when things like that happen in game.
I think I've realised recently that what I enjoy about Dead by Daylight is if I enjoy the whole game as a whole, it's not the escape. The escaping is more like, oh, that was a relief, rather than anything else. More than, that's completed off a really good experience. But at the moment, I love sort of, as Survivor, for example, I love being able to go run around, get gens done, relax, and, oh, there's a killer coming my way. Right, where can I go to loop? And I'll loop him around for a bit. Oh, he's left me. Great. I'll go back to the gen. And I'm enjoying it the whole time. Oh, I'll get someone off the hook. Great. And we've escaped. Brilliant. That was an enjoyable experience. That's how I like to play it. I don't like sitting on a hook for ages while your shite teammates don't do anything and you're sat there going, well, should I tab out?
Yeah.
Should I DC? Because I can't be bothered to wait. They're not going to come again. Oh, no, I can't DC. Because I go down 2 pips and then I'll probably have a 5-minute ban. What should I do then? That's not enjoyable at all.
Good teammates, killers that aren't toxic. These two things put together work really well with the game's mechanics to create these really satisfying gameplay loop.
Yeah.
I mean, chases as both killer and survivor for me are really satisfying. Very, very different. As killer, it's particularly stressful. As survivor, it's more like fun. But both of these are really satisfying gameplay loops.
Yeah, it's great. But then at the same time, they even each other out because you've got a survivor and you're running around really enjoying it. I prefer chasing as a survivor, but then you don't enjoy getting down. You're like, damn it. But as a killer, you're like, yes, that's what I did this for. So you kind of get different outcomes, but they merge together really, really well.
It's a very different feeling game.
I just feel as though campy killers, tunnely killers need to be punished because it takes away the enjoyment for every other person, and that's what they need to focus on. These hitboxes, and I've seen pictures now of the new update, are double the amount they used to be. And they used to be ridiculous.
I remember before dedicated servers, these are worse than they've ever been. Ever.
You can go past the pallet and round a corner, the killer's on the other side of the pallet, and they'd swing and hit you.
There's just no point. There's no skill to chases right now. There's no point. And you know what's worse? What doesn't make any sense is that I've played about 2 or 3 games as killer, and it doesn't feel like you're getting cheap hits as killer.
No, it doesn't, because you see something different. It looks as if you see something different. And yet, this is what I meant about the nurse. I now to find out that my hits probably were nowhere near them, even though it looked like they were right next to them. That's so demotivating.
Every single time I've been downed as a survivor, I've probably played about 10 games on the live server as survivor. Every single game I've played, every time I get downed, it feels unsatisfying. It doesn't feel like it was earned by the killer. But I'm not mad at the killer because I'm sure that from their perspective, they hit me and like that's fine.
Well, you can't get annoyed at the killer. I've never been annoyed at a killer for getting a shit hit on me.
No.
The only time I get annoyed at a killer is when they camp and tunnel. And even I've got two other friends. One of us, well, I'll say Fantastic and Quonko, who both. I mean, Fantastic stopped playing Dead by Daylight now. But when they both played, and so actually, in fact, Quonko stopped playing it as well now. But the way they play it is they go, well, tunneling and camping's in the game. That's how you're supposed to play as killer. Or you're supposed to hide away as survivor and hide away. It's like, well, no, but that's not fun for everyone. So what you should do in a game that's supposed to be fun is promote what we said before, the chasing, the gens, or the constant moving, constantly doing stuff. When you get hit down and someone slugs you, you're sat on the floor for ages. It's not fun. Do something about it that the killers can't do that for you. Unbreakable, no mither, fantastic. We've got that. One that they can't camp and tunnel, fantastic. DS, brilliant. And it works really. It does work, and it is very, very survivor-sided if you are a killer because you can not tunnel someone and get a 59-second DS on you, and you're like, well, that's definitely not tunneling. So I love the new update. If you do something, if you do a gen, if you do any kind of action, fantastic. It's deactivated. I love that.
That's good. That's not live yet. To be clear, that's not in the new update, by the way.
No. It's a thing they're looking at, isn't it?
Next chapter.
But I even got a little bit annoyed at first about the whole, well, surely if they jump in a locker in your face. But then, hold on, no, maybe not, because if they're in a locker, they're not doing a gen. So they're no threat to you. So just leave them in there. It's fine. So I think they are bringing stuff together, but to see all of these bugs and all the things wrong with this game, not making it a fun experience, going, oh, we'll make it look slightly better, which it isn't. That's the thing that's very frustrating. And I know they're trying to do certain things and stuff, but for me, it's just not working. I haven't played Survivor yet, and I'm still this annoyed. That's the thing. The killer side is actually okay, but even seeing videos, hearing stories about the survivor part, that stresses me out at the moment. And they have to fix it, otherwise they will lose players.
Yeah, definitely.
Or either that, or they're going to have to get a massive license for their next chapter to bring more people in. Otherwise, I can't see the game growing any more than it has done recently, and it is quite a big game now. Let's be honest, it's getting bigger and bigger.
It has been getting bigger and bigger. They when they released the Silent Hill update, they were up to 70,000 daily players. That then dropped to 50,000 with the introduction of the twins. Now it's close to 35,000. I would wager by this time next week it's closer to 20,000.
It will keep going down, and I know the amount of anger. I reckon every single day that they don't tweet saying we are working on this to fix it, we are listen to you. We will change this. We will change that. If they don't do it, every day that passes, you will lose probably about 1,000 people uninstalling.
Something like that. It wouldn't surprise me. And that's all it is. That's all they need to do is just communicate. But they won't, because it's behaviour. This is what they do. They don't communicate.
But this should be a sobering lesson to them, and hopefully they hear this podcast, because I've been very quiet and down quite a lot for the first half of this podcast. And now I've sort of got this energy, and I'm sort of just projecting a bit more because I was listening to your negativity, and it was sort of making me think, oh,
but it's not.
Maybe we shouldn't play this anymore.
It's not.
But
about,
now it's like no positive.
It's not about
come
throwing
on.
Things on. I'm gonna keep playing this game. I know you guys are doing a good job. Like your development. I know you're good developers. I know you can pull this out. It's just communicate, listen to the community, and get it fixed. We need to wrap up. But I think your little monologue there perfectly sums up what's going on right now. There's a sea of positivity and a sea of negativity, and the river of negativity is
it was a sea and now it's a river
flowing into the sea of. It's like the BP oil spill. If the BP oil spill was patch 4.5.0. Okay, go. Where can people find you?
They can find me at twitch.tv /Jakstalock, JAKSTALOCK. I'm also on Twitter and on YouTube, JAKSTALOCK, Jakstalock. Check out my band Pet Needs. We're growing. Be one of the first people here before we explode.
I accidentally commented. I commented on your Tracy Emin's Bed music video from my Pebsie TTV account accidentally.
Did you?
Yeah, and I think whoever it is that runs the channel, maybe Johnny, replied, "Thank you, Pebsie," and I was like, "Oh no, it's Tom. It's Tom. Wrong account."
That's okay. That's fine. And then now go back into your other account and say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Just confuse them.
You can find me twitch.tv /Pebsie, twitch.tv /Pebsie, twitter.com /PebsieTTV, youtube.com /PebsieTTV. Jack, are you still going to be playing Dead by Daylight? Are you still going to be making Dead by Daylight content?
Yeah, although I'm not sure I want to play Survivor right now, but I'm definitely going to check it out.
Give it
We're
a
not going to
try.
stop playing.
Are you streaming it tonight? Are you streaming Survivor tonight?
No, Wednesday is my current story mode game, so we're going to be playing Outlast again.
Okay, cool.
I'll be back. I'll be playing Survivor and Killer tomorrow, Thursday.
Okay. Well, this video's going to come out on Friday, so.
That's why I said tomorrow and then Thursday.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday. We're recording this on a Wednesday, and then it'll be up
We
on
record
Friday.
them on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Just so, yeah.
Right, thank you for watching or listening, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. See you with a fog.
What a noise to finish the podcast with.